Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is, what day is it? Today's Friday. Made it to the weekend, January 5th, 2024. Guys, I forgot that I do have this package from Gooder here that I do want to open in front of you guys, but I'm realizing now that it seems to have my address on all sides of this box. So let me just remove some pieces of tape here real quick if I can. Yeah, and there we go. Here it is. It's a box from Gooder. I'm pretty excited. If it's what I think it is, I'm very excited for what it is. But before we get to that, let's say hi to everyone listening on the audio only version on the podcast. Hopefully you guys are having a good run out there today. Or if you are working this week, I think most of you guys are probably back to work a little bit. Hopefully it's an easy work week back in. And hopefully traffic is light because maybe not everyone's back to work. Out here in northern Illinois, it seems like most of the schools still aren't back yet from the holiday. My kids are off of school again today, and they'll go back on Monday. And they'll have one full week, and then the next following week, I think there's a Monday off. So they have a little bit of a holiday, so that's nice. It's a nice way to ease it into the new year, and hopefully you're easing it into the new year. And that reminds me, I do want to hear from you guys. I rattle on about myself the entire live stream yesterday. I'll make sure we talk about what you guys did over New Year's and your running and stuff like that. We can talk about resolutions and goals and stuff like that if you want. I'm not a huge resolutions person anymore. Usually my resolutions are silly a little bit, but they end up happening and being true. So maybe it's worth. We can talk about that. But also, we got to make sure we're saying hi to everyone listening on the later but not live, you LBNLs. Hopefully you're doing well. Maybe you're starting your taxes already. You know what I mean? I got to start thinking about that. That always takes me a long time, and I'm usually late, and it makes the accountant mad. But she's super nice, so she would never say that she's mad. But I know we're like her least favorite client. It's got to be. So maybe you're being nice to your accountant this year. Okay, maybe. Yeah, that's it. Number one running live stream to listen to while you're getting your taxes in order. Maybe it's too soon. Maybe you guys haven't got your W-2s and your W-9s and stuff yet, but I don't know. I got to start working on my stuff. Anyway, Sue Hen says, taxes already? No. You know what? I'm trying to, that's not a resolution, but it's something that every year I'm like, I'm not going to be Jones, our account. I'm not going to be Joan. I'm not going to be a problem for Joan this year. I'm not going to. And then every year I'm a problem for Joan. And if Joan's mad, my wife's mad, everyone gets mad at me. So I'm just trying. I'm trying to be better. Mustache Runner says, I start teaching again on Monday. I was about a treadmill for some winter running. That's nice. So that reminds me, till today, I'm going to take my older daughter has a friend over, and they're tweens. So I think they'll be fine. My wife's here. She's working, but I think they'll be fine on their own. But I think I'm going to take my younger daughter with me to IKEA today. I need to buy more bookshelves. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have another set up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to replicate this because I basically need double this. I won't fill it right away. It'll be empty, a lot of it for a while, but you'll get to see it kind of fill up. And then over there in the basement, we're going to move our treadmill from upstairs to downstairs. I thought my wife might use the treadmill more if we had it upstairs in our bedroom. But I don't think it makes a big difference for her. And what it has been a problem for me because a lot of times when I want to use the treadmill, it's like on a travel day. And I want to be like, well, I got a flight I got to catch. It's going to be too dark out. I don't want to run outside in the dark out here. So I'll run on the treadmill at like 5. And I don't want to do that and wake her up. So we're going to move the treadmill downstairs and I'll make it a set. I'll have it by my bike on the bike trainer. It'll be a whole thing. So that's what I'm going to do with mine. The only hard thing is I don't know how we're going to get the treadmill from upstairs to the basement. It's super heavy. And it's not like a thing that you can like take apart into pieces. So I don't know. We'll get more bookshelves for shoe storage first, and then we'll figure the rest out later, I guess. But glad that you got a treadmill. I got to run on I did run the other day on a Matrix treadmill. We have a Nordic Track, the one that has iFit on it. We don't have an iFit subscription, but that one, Nordic Track. And it's okay. I don't love it. It always makes my Garmin watch always thinks I'm going slower than what the treadmill says. So it's very frustrating. I ran on a Matrix treadmill. It was much more sturdy. Like it doesn't bounce and give as much, which I guess is a bad thing if you think about it. But also, like, my watch thought I was going faster than what I showed on the treadmill. So I don't even know. I guess I should just use a foot pod maybe to be more consistent. But anyway, the Matrix treadmill was nice too. Sue Ann says, my cousin bought a house and it came with a treadmill in the basement because the owner couldn't get it out. Yeah, I thought that I was buying a house with a treadmill already in it too. Because when we bought the house, funny story, there was we bought the house and there was a brand new washer and dryer in the house and then a treadmill in the basement. So in the laundry room that was there, and they wanted to specify that the laundry machine, the washer and dryer, they don't stay. They don't come with the house. The owners are going to take it, just so you know. I'm like, cool. And they said nothing about the treadmill in the basement. So I'm like, I guarantee you they're just going to end up leaving that there. That's just how treadmills ends up basements. Basements are where treadmills go to die. They just go there and they never come out. Like a couple of days before the closing, the owners are like contacting us and they're like, hey, do you want to buy our washer and dryer? And I'm talking to my wife and I'm like, I'm guessing that they just don't want to move it. Or maybe where they're going, it's not a gas hookup. Maybe it's electric. You know, who knows? But I was like, no, I don't want it. You guys made a really big deal out of it for some reason that it wasn't coming with the house. And so take it out, please. I didn't say it that way. I just said, no, thanks. But I was like, I bet you we're still getting that treadmill. And then we moved in and there was no treadmill in the basement. So I don't know. Maybe if we had bought their washer and dryer, we would have got the treadmill in the basement. Mark Peterson says, I just always hit calibrate and save on my Garmin and just use the data from the Assault Runner. Yeah, I hit calibrate and save on mine every time, but it never figures it out. And I'm mostly on our home treadmill when I am on a treadmill. So I don't know what the deal is. I don't particularly care because I don't do workouts on my treadmill or haven't before. I mean, I guess I do some threshold work on it, but mainly I'm just looking to do a certain heart rate as for a certain amount of time. So I don't know. But I don't know. Maybe I'll get an Assault Runner. I don't know. All right, so here we got some New Year's running stories. Brian Lang saying, I ran a New Year's 5K shirtless, channeled my inner Matt Choi, and paced a random little kid to a 5K PB. Nice. Also ran into Drew Wickham at the same 5K wearing his Alpha Fly 3 Protos. Nice. Good work. I mean, you're in Atlanta, so I guess that's doable down there. I mean, it wasn't super cold up here in Illinois, although we were in Connecticut for the New Year. And it was not cold up there either. One year, my wife and I and my sister, we did New Year's Eve in Times Square. And it was the year that Christina Aguilera performed, which was super exciting for me because I don't know if you guys knew this about me, but I'm a huge Christina Aguilera fan. And so, but it was really cold that year. Not brutal. There's been brutal cold years, but that was a pretty cold year. And so every year we're like, was it colder than the year we were out there? No, it's been a lot of warm years. There's been some really cold ones, but there's been a lot of warm years too. Juliana VB says, get some buddies to help with the treadmill. Juliana says, hate the treadmill. I avoid it at all costs. Rather run on the dark, which I hate too. It's just not a good situation either way. But sometimes, like around here, there's not a lot of streetlights in this subdivision. And so I don't really want to run around at night because people also drive too fast through the subdivision. I heard it. It made me sound really old to say that, but I heard it. But yeah, that's true. So I don't really want to drive around too much at night. And a lot of the routes that I run are either at parks or on trails, which I believe are technically closed at night, And so if it's not like near sunrise, I don't know who would stop me on these trails, but I'm not really supposed to be there. So that's the other thing. And then outside the subdivision, it's completely unsafe to run on a lot of the roads around here, even during broad daylight, because just there's no infrastructure for pedestrians. So it kind of stinks, In the city, when we lived in Chicago, there was no problem. I didn't care. I just ran anytime. And it was fine. But out here, it's a little harder. And then sometimes it's easy because then it's just like, hey, guy, like if my wife's still working late, the kids have been fed dinner, and I want to hop on the treadmill for 30 minutes, I could be like, all right, guys, if you need me, I'll be downstairs for 30 minutes. Everyone good? So that kind of helps too. All right. Jim Riom says, I was in Austin, Texas for New Year's and have never seen so many runners anywhere. The waterfront path was packed. Never seen so many runners in a public space except an organized event. It's a great place to run. It's pretty dark. It gets pretty dark there, though, at night. I ran there the first night I got there for the running event this year in December. Or I guess that was November. End of November, early December. After 5 o'clock, it got pitch black super fast. Not a lot of light. So that's unusual. You got to bring a headlamp. I should have brought a headlamp. But yeah. Eric says, seriously though, Eric was also in Austin in late November and the Town Lake Trail was packed. Bananas. Yeah. I mean, that's cool. Austin is a running town. It's hilly. The Town Lake, that waterfront path is also like one of the flattest areas you can run. And it's an area with no traffic, so you could just run uninterrupted for a really long time. And a lot of it's soft surface too. So that's nice. All right. Cobalt Blue says, hey, Co, I'm figuring out which of my new shoes work for what distance. Recently got a pair of Boston 12, Adios Pro 3, and Cloudboom Echo 3. I won them in a raffle. All right. So here's how I would do that. If those were like the only 3 shoes you had, let's say, I would use the Boston 12 as your daily trainer. It's a pretty decent daily trainer. The Adios Pro 3 would be your like long workout shoe, your marathon shoe, that kind of thing. And the Cloudboom Echo 3 I would use for a lot of workouts and shorter, faster stuff. That's how I would break those 3 down. Stevie76 says Christina Aguilera is on Kofuzi's playlist. I don't think it is, but what's funny is I revealed that fact to my daughters. And now when we get in the car, our car is like a 2016 or so. It's the first car that I've had with CarPlay in it, but we have a really long iPhone cable to it, and so the kids in the backseat control what's on there. And my younger daughter is very thoughtful and she loves being in control of the playlist. And she'll be like, I picked this one for you, Daddy. And then it'll be like What a Girl Wants by Christina Aguilera. Every once in a while I'll be like, do you pick this one for me? She's like, I remember the time you told me you really like Christina Aguilera. So I was like, okay, great. And then other times it'll be like, oh, you picked Sweater Song from Weezer? Okay. Nice. I do like this one. And then she's never heard of Smashing Pumpkins before. And then like one random time on the radio, it was on the radio for some reason. And I was telling my 2 girls that I'm like, oh, this song came out when I was like, and I like to tell them like when old songs come on the radio, if I can remember, like this song came out when you're such and such cousin. I was your such and such cousin's age, like if they were in high school or whatever. And so it was like Today by Smashing Pumpkins was on. And then she remembered that and she just started playing a whole bunch of Smashing Pumpkins songs for me. So I was like, that's super cute. That's fun. I says, OMG, the Pumpkins. Yeah, you know what's really wild? All right, so Billy Corgan lives up in like Evanston or something like that. I don't know if he's always been from there, but that's where he's been living for a long time. There was a rumor at one point that he owned an ice cream shop. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but he's pretty active in the community from what I understand. But he's active like just like a regular old Evanstonian person. I don't know if he has kids or anything or not, but like he's like just a prototypical Evanstonian person at this point. Really funny. And then I'm watching like on Christmas Day, we're at home and we've got like the Disney Christmas theme park spectacular. There's like a concert at Disney World. And Smashing Pumpkins is playing a new song that I had never heard before about Christmas. Did you guys did anyone else see that? Anyone? I mean, I was like, does anyone realize how awkward this is? Like, and like no one in the crowd like could tell who was Smashing Pumpkins. It was just, it was so bizarre. Paul Pollock says, I saw Smashing Pumpkins at Glastonbury in 97. That's amazing. That's so good. Oh, Anator says, yeah, that's right. Billy Corgan owns a tea shop. I don't know why that's so funny, but it's amazing. And Frank LaHoy says he kind of looks like a regular old Evanstonian at this point. Exactly. He's got like a graying beard, bald guy, and just looks like a regular person from the near suburbs. Andrew Scott said Billy Corgan just got married. Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting. This coat is really pumped right now. I don't know. I just Smashing Pumpkins were very important to me growing up, I guess. You know. And Mark Meyer says, I saw Corgan on NBC on New Year's Eve doing Summertime, which is a really odd choice for New Year's Eve. It sure is. I don't understand. Louis says 1979 was my favorite song from Smashing Pumpkins. I mean, I think I'm going to have to go with Today or Disarm. Like those are two are really good ones. Yeah, I don't know. Scott says, Billy Corgan needs to show up at a PTA meeting in his Zero t-shirt. Oh, that'd be so funny. That'd be so funny. All right, Vanessa Martinez says, in Austin, we have quite a few running paths that are really nice. The Mueller one is 3 miles, and the UT path is about that length as well. Mueller one is usually less packed in the morning. Oh, really good tips. Thanks. Anyone else run over the holiday? I ran on like New Year's Day. I didn't run on New Year's Eve, but I did run on New Year's Day. Just the way the schedule worked out. We were doing a bunch of family stuff. So I was like, yeah. I mean, I was like, I think I'm in the taper now. So it's a good time to take a break. So, yeah. Jimmy Stay says, Jimmy, let me know if I said that name wrong. Jimmy Stay says, lurker here, but the Smashing Pumpkins talk is giving me the feels. Isn't it weird? It's just, I don't know why. I don't know why it's so. It's interesting. Yeah. Someone asked me, Sue Ann said, I started Winter Grit on January 1st. So yes, ran that day. Okay, cool. And someone's saying, Calvin Long says the Koozie Run Club is second in Grit. That's amazing. I'm not doing Grit this year because I knew I'd be racing and tapering and stuff like that and then recovering from the half marathon. And so I was like, I'm probably not going to do Grit. So I elected not to do it this year. But that's really funny that we're second. Awesome. Good job, guys. I appreciate you. Okay. Jimmy says Sty. Okay. Sty. All right. Jimmy Sty. I'll remember that. Thank you. Little Mac XC said, I ran 18 miles on the 31st. That's a long way. That's a good way to round out the year. You know, I saw a lot of people that were running on New Year's Eve, trying to like reach a milestone mileage mark for the end of the year. And I got no problem with that. I think that's great. I think that's fun. It makes me think like, well, I mean, you could have run all year long a lot more maybe. But, you know, people have different mileage goals and stuff like that. You know. Robert Krieger. This is a great mashup of basically my childhood. Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins. Homer Simpson, smiling politely. Nice. All right, Daz Darren has a running shoe question. Guys, so here's my plan. I feel like we need to have a bumper graphic. The sound is great, but we need to have. I have some plans. I'm going to ask Daniel if he can make me something. I don't know if he can, but I think he probably can. But I need some sort of visual, something that flashes for every time there's a running shoe question. I just think that's something we need to do. Anyway. All right, Daz already got a shoe question. He says, let's say a shoe could be used for 300 miles. Would a slower runner who is spending more time on feet in the shoes expect to get the same number of miles from the shoe as a fast runner? That's a great question. I haven't really thought about that too much. I've thought about it in the other direction. I'm like, I get like 300 miles from a shoe, but I think that really efficient and fast runners can get more. So like when pros tell me they get like 500 miles out of a shoe, I'm like, oh, because that takes you about the same amount of time. So maybe the appropriate measure is time in the shoe and not mileage. And maybe that's why people's mileage varies so much. So maybe yes, it does. I don't know. That's an interesting question. I would love to see a study on that. And it doesn't have to be like a comprehensive study on every single type of foam, but I would love to see it something on like a pair of Clifton 8s, just regular compression molded. And like, cause the compression molded EVA in the Clifton 9 doesn't feel like it's just compression molded EVA in it. There's something else in that. There's got to be. It feels so different. But like the Clifton 8 or like a Clifton 7, just like a basic all EVA foam shoe. Because like, remember there was a study that they did on carbon plated shoes, and they were saying that like people notice a difference in the performance of a shoe when it reaches like X% of compression, like the foam itself is measurably compressed. Not to say that it's dead, but that's when you notice the difference between fresh out of the box or not. And I bet like if they could do a similar type of charting and you would find maybe the same amount. But then I'm also like, well, if it's a less experienced runner, maybe a less efficient runner, which is not always the case, but maybe, and they're dragging their feet or doing something funny, you know, is that more or less wear on the shoe? It might be more. So it might not just be time. There might be a couple of variables. Like, does an efficient runner who runs easy miles get the same amount of wear out of a shoe as a efficient runner who's just running moderate miles? I don't know. Because then you're putting more force into it too. A lot of variables. But I would think that the answer is, I think that you have an interesting intuition there in your question. I agree with the premise, I guess. You know? I like that question a lot. I don't have a good answer for it. I'm just a hypothesis. All right. Tracy Smith says, hi, everyone. Late, but glad to see you all here. It's been a while for me. Well, it's good to see you, Tracy. Calvin says, I love the post on the RSG subreddit where a shoe is absolutely cooked and they ask if it's time to get a new pair. Yes, my man, you needed a new pair a month ago. Is that Running Shoe Geeks? I don't think I've ever been on that one. I'm trying to think of what RSG was, but that's interesting. Yeah. You know, it's bizarre to me. Not bizarre. I know that there are people that want more mileage out of their shoes, but I'm like, are they not feeling that? Right. So people are like, I won't run in a shoe if I don't think I could get 1,000 kilometers out of it. And it's typically someone that's reporting their mileage in kilometers. And so I'm like, okay, I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to give you a longevity estimate because I don't understand what you're doing with your shoes. You know what I mean? So it's just like, they're like, can you give me a 500 kilometer update? I'm like, one, I don't know how far 500 kilometers is. And two, I'm like, if you want a 500 kilometer update because you expect to get 1,000 kilometers out of a shoe, or like, I don't think you should be watching this channel. You're going to always be upset with the results that I give. You know, I just don't know how to answer the question for those people sometimes, you know? Alex says, I've never taken a shoe. What's going on, Alex? He says, I've never taken a shoe over 250 miles personally, and it was completely dead. Yeah. Like for me, like, you know, it's been a long time since I've taken a shoe over 300 miles at this point for me. But like, I remember like old pairs of Pegasus, like the 36, 35, I would get to like 275 miles and I'd be like, I don't want to run in this anymore. You know, and maybe I was stomping my feet. Maybe I was doing something funny in them, but I'm like, I'm remembering what that feeling was like and trying to extrapolate that for 2x or 3x the distance. And that just doesn't make sense. I don't know. All right, Frank's doing the math for me. All right, 500 kilometers is 105 Ks. Okay, 310 miles. 500 kilometers is reasonable to expect from a shoe. But you're going to notice it. You're going to notice it a lot, you know? But yeah. But 600 miles for 1,000 kilometers in a shoe, that's a lot. Lil Mac XC says, I weigh 122 pounds and I only got 355 miles out of my speed threes and the rubber on the side tore off. And I'm blaming that on why my knees started to hurt. I don't know. It's hard because like it's not that the rubber came off, is why is the rubber coming off at that side of the foot? You know, it may mean that your foot is hitting funny. Maybe you're always running on a certain camber of the side of a road or something, you know? And so like, that doesn't tell me that the shoe is necessarily dead. It just maybe tells me that like your running mechanics might have something else going on, but it also could just be that the shoe is dead. I mean, a lot of times I used to get this question a lot. I used to do more longer term review videos of shoes, and people were like, how do you know? And I'm like, well, if you've been running fine and all of a sudden now after a run, you're like, the foot feels funny. Probably time for a new shoe. Or at least try that first and see if your foot still hurts, you know, if your shoe is older or oldish. But like the other thing is like rubber degrading is typically like not a great, there's not a huge amount of correlation. If like rubber degrading might just mean that the rubber wasn't great. The foam still might have plenty of life left in it. You know, does that make sense? Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that one. But it could be. But I'm surprised, like 355 miles, that's a good amount of miles out of the speed threes. That's almost 500 kilometers. All right, Matt says, you know, if you're doing 100-mile weeks, changing out shoes every 5 weeks is too much to ask for a broached college kid. And we used to do significantly more than 100-mile weeks. I know. That's so like I've been watching, I think it started happening right around, I mean, maybe it's a confluence of reasons, but there's been a lot of new videos about like YouTube channels featuring like college cross-country runners, you know, and a lot of them tend to have like 4 or 5 videos and then it peters out, unfortunately. But so I'll see these and they'll be like, you know, Duke University men's cross-country team does a 20-mile run. And, you know, it's like everyone's warming up at the it's very, I don't know if it's a formula or if just everyone falls into the same trope. And the videos are always like, here's everybody on the team. We all drove to the trailhead and this is where we're going to do the run. And they kind of go over everyone's shoes, you know. And then sometimes they'll be like, how many miles you got on those? And the kid will be like, I think I got 1,000 miles on these. But I think it's because like, I didn't run in college. I mean, I did, but we didn't get stuff. And I certainly wasn't doing 100-mile weeks. But I think that the way that the kids get shoes in D1 programs is it's not like there's a room where you can be like, I need another pair. I think like you get a set at the beginning of the season, you know? And that's right. If you're doing 100-mile weeks, you know, and you're only getting 300 miles out of a shoe, granted, you might be in a couple of different kinds of shoes over the sense of that 100-mile weeks, but like, yeah, 5 weeks probably is the max that I would want to run in a shoe. That'll put you at like maybe 400 miles. Yeah. But you're also, if you're a college kid, your body is not as fragile as mine. Your body's paying for it, you know. Someone's paying, either your body or your wallet, I guess. Oof. Yeah. But like seeing some of the kids and some of these YouTube videos and like the shoes that they have, I'm like, oh boy. Carlos says, I wonder if that's why the Brooks and Peg still rule. They're just durable. Maybe. I don't know. I think Brooks targets a specific kind of runner and a specific set of preferences. It's also highly regarded in the orthopedic community, which I didn't realize brands pay for that recognition. I learned that this year. So if like, you know, like kind of like if you want the seal of approval from the American Orthopedic Association or something, I don't know if that's a real organization. I made it up. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you want to have like your stamp of approval, to have like your logo on their logo on your website is saying like this is like orthopedist approved or physical therapist approved or whatever, you pay a lot of money for that distinction, which makes sense, but also feels really weird. I don't know. Lollapy says, I've seen some of those videos from the cross country kids, and it's hard to watch, but you can't relate at all. They're so fast. Yeah. I keep watching them thinking that, like, okay, who's going to be the next, like, Emma Abrahamson, who did a really great channel. Ryan Trahan started out kind of making videos like that, too, back before he became Ryan Trahan, back when he was just some D1 runner kid, So I keep like kind of keeping an eye on that to see. I see there's some track runners that are doing it. A lot of cross country runners are doing it, but nothing continually pops up in my feed, and so I'm just like, they must not be making videos, because if I watch it, I like it, and then hopefully YouTube gives me more of it, but then I don't always get it. I don't know. Frank says, I would actually like to donate new shoes to the high school cross country team, but they don't actually make it easy to call up the coach and say, anyone need shoes? They don't. And I don't know if there are rules about it, but I guess like with, and I mean, like now that like we're in the NIL universe, like does that matter? Can't like the school boosters do stuff like that? I have no idea how, like there seem to be really weird rules about giving stuff to kids, which on its face makes a lot of sense, but in another way, we'd be like, it should be easier. I don't know. All right, Matt says, yeah, you get a pair of shoes at the start of the season. If you're lucky, a coach might notice and give you another pair during the season, and most get 0. Yeah, I mean, I think that's if you're a D1 school. Like I was at a D3 school. I don't think anyone got nothing. Yeah. All right. Calvin Hong says, Ryan Trahan went to A&M, LOL. He was at my apartment complex when I attended. Oh, that's fun. That's a fun fact. I like fun facts. Interesting. All right. Eliza says, box. Let's go. All right. So we got a box of Gooder. I think if it's what I think it is, you guys have already seen me trying them on. I don't know if did I try them on? I don't know if I tried them on when I was at TRE, but I saw these at TRE and I was like, you guys got to send me these. All right. It says you have just received 3. I think this is just the general box for big things at Gooders, but this is just one thing it's in here. So I won't read the message, but these are Snow G's. I pray all day. I do like that sign of that. But Gooder now makes ski goggles. Here's the thing that I'm super concerned about is the Gooder wraparound, what do they call them? Blade glasses. Those don't fit my face. I got a wide face, so those don't fit my face. I think these, I thought I remember trying these on, but I think they fit me fine. But we got this care guide, silica gel, and then this giant bag. And what it is Gooder now makes ski goggles. So that's fun. And I thought, if I remember correctly, yeah, they come with 2 different lenses. Now you're supposed to remove all this film and stuff before use, but I'm just going to put this on. This needs to be tightened first a little bit. All right, here we go. Ski goggles by Gooder. These are fun. But I will tell you, I don't mind, and I think it's going to be okay. But these are a little bit kind of narrow on my wide head. They feel like there's a lot of space right here underneath the nose. But I also think that's going to be really nice for fog prevention. And then the other thing with these is that Stevie 76 says these are for when you win a championship and you have to celebrate in the locker room. I think that's so weird that they like everyone puts on goggles when that happens. Just very strange. And JC that these are for VR looking glasses. All right, there we go. Now I can't remember. There's a trick to it. All right, yeah, they come right off, and then they magnetically stick back on. There's like a little thing that you push here, and so this frame is very floppy, which I like. That makes me feel like it's going to be more comfortable for longer wear. And then you could switch it out. I think there's like maybe a pink lens and then a clear lens as well. And they just snap right in, which I really like. So I asked them if it's going to prevent fogging when you're running, and they said it's really well ventilated, so it should be like designed with anti-fog in mind. That was like their main thing that they were concerned about. That's the vents on the bottom, and there's a bunch of vents on the top to let a lot of fog out. But the thing that's hard for me is if I'm running with ski goggles on, that means I also probably have, a neck gaiter or a face covering to keep my face warm as well, and that usually just fogs up any ski goggle. So we'll have to wait till this gets a little bit colder for me to try that. But let's try. You know what? We'll get the protective film off here. That was really quiet. But we'll put that on. Yeah, I like this. This is nice. This works. Matt says, this is slightly more affordable than the Apple Vision Pros. Yeah, I actually don't know what the MSRP is going to be on this one, but I can guarantee you it's going to be cheaper than the Apple Vision Pros. Yeah, Eric says, I think I've only used a balaclava and sunglasses over once here in Colorado, but it was negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit on that run. Ugh. Yeah, I feel like once you get into like the single digits Fahrenheit, that's when the eye covering becomes really important. Sometimes sunglasses is enough, but even then, sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to deal with the whole like when you feel like your eyelids are freezing on top of your contact lenses. It's just a really strange feeling. So, Luis wants to know, is it breathable? Yeah, like all these vents, a lot of air getting through here, and there's just like a big bunch of foam. So it'll be interesting to see how these hold up. The foam over multiple uses. But what's interesting is there's so much strap here. I can't imagine whose giant head this goes around that the circumference of this also fits. Like I have these almost as small as they'll go, and I feel like it's not quite fitting my face correctly. Or like it doesn't fit my head, but the circumference of this seems a little bit tight. But yeah, I like these. Thomas Dang says, do the rest of the stream with these on? Okay, you guys got it. You guys have some weird requests sometimes. But I can live with it, okay, Steve Blackadar, Snowboard Helmets Co. That makes sense. See, that's how little time I spend on the snow, is that I don't know about snowboard helmets. That makes sense. Eliza's like, yeah. The strap is long for the helmet, you wear it over. See, I'm so old that the last time I went snowboarding, probably like around 1996 or so, no one wore a helmet. I must have hit my head so many times when I was learning to snowboard. Over in Camelback Mountain, is that still a place? Do people still go there? That's where we used to go because it was like relatively cheap, relatively close. I could only go on like blue squares anyway, so like I didn't need to go anything harder. But yeah, that's where we used to go ski and snowboard. Not that I went a lot, but yeah. Video Guy Man says the snow goggles are $75 on the Gooder site. That's a pretty good price. I've bought some even cheaper ones than that off Amazon before, maybe like $50 or $40, and they work okay. I'm trying to think if it had removable lenses, you know. Let's take this protective off of that. You know what? It's hard to get this thing off when you're wearing it, which I suppose is good. I don't know how to get it off. Okay, now this live stream has gotten very strange. But you know, C10 fan makes a good point. If you're thinking about wearing goggles for your run because it's single digits Fahrenheit, a treadmill day makes a lot more sense. That's true. But a lot of times when I'm in my coldest runs, I'm at my in-laws' house where I do not have access to a treadmill. Although I guess there's like a rec center somewhere nearby. I've been there before and I've hopped on the treadmill, but yeah, you're probably right. You know. Shannon says, nothing screams serious runner like these goggles paired with the Tracksmith singlet, split shorts, and some Alpha Flies. Guys, let me tell you what. I was in New York, and I'm like, you know what? People overstate the whole thing where people are wearing Alpha Flies for like easy runs or like to go get the groceries. I'm like, people are not. Maybe it's the easy part. It's the warm up or cool down for their workout. Maybe it's, they're running errands. They just ran to Central Park, did a workout. Now they're running home, picking up some hydration along the way. I'm like, that's got to be what it is. It's not. People aren't just wearing it around. But I was in New York doing touristy stuff and saw other people doing touristy stuff. And I saw multiple Alpha Fly 2s worn in casual wear and a pair of Vaporfly 3s as casual wear. Dude was wearing like jeans and a jacket. I'm like, he's also not from around here. He's a tourist with his family. They're doing tourist stuff like my family's doing tourist stuff. And I'm like, okay, I stand corrected. Some people are doing it. Running with AJ says, I don't think I'll need these in the tropics. Maybe not. Yeah, I feel like, probably not. Just because all the foam that's on here might make them a little bit warm. Rob DeGennaro says, yep, the Camelback is still there. Oh, okay, that's good to know. And Steve Blackador says, it sure is still there. I had a season pass in high school. I have good memories of that place. Mark Peterson says, the first and last time I went snowboarding was 17 years ago yesterday. It was that memorable. You commemorate the day still. All right. Thomas Dang has a shoe question. What's a good half marathon shoe to get for 2024? I would say right now, I like this Puma Fast R2. That's a really good one. I've been enjoying that one quite a bit. Specifically for a half marathon, I'm thinking that you can go a little bit lighter, a little bit more aggressive than you might for a full marathon. But like Metaspeed Sky Plus is going to be high on my list. Alpha Adios Pro 3 is going to be high on the list. I'd probably, if you're going to go the Nike route, I'd go Vaporfly over Alpha Fly for the half marathon. I really think that the Vaporfly is turning into a half marathon shoe that some people can run a marathon in. So that's where I'm on that. But those are some options. Salomon S Lab Phantasm 2 is good. If you're looking at, super shoes, I'm assuming Adios Pro. I said Adios. Endorphin Pro is another good one. And all right. Now, who said something about this? Okay. Adam Torres says, we used to go to Keystone in Colorado and it was great because snowboarding was not allowed. I don't know. It was one of those articles that I didn't read. It was in an elevator. We're saying that some ski resort was going to not allow influencers. I don't know what that means, but whatever it is, it sounds like surely that was an overreaction. But, I don't know. Eric says, I've done snowboarding 3 times and never mastered braking with it. You can hear me screaming like Charlie Brown coming down slope. Yeah, I mean, I could see why people don't like it because it shoves a lot of snow around. If that's not the reason you don't like it, then I feel like those are other reasons those are just grumpy reasons maybe. But I don't know. I was never an avid skier. I was never a very good skier. And I wasn't a very good snowboarder either, for whatever that's worth. But, yeah. Riot Village says, if you didn't know Ko, what would you think if you randomly clicked here? I have no idea. That's what makes this funny. Is people are like, what is this guy doing? Because there's like ski goggles on, indoors, in front of a whole bunch of shoes. I don't know. Tony says, just wear it without the lenses. Okay. Tony, are you still at Disney World right now? Tony and his partner are doing the Dopey Challenge, or his fiance are doing the Dopey Challenge. Now it looks like I'm scuba diving. Scuba Steve likes running shoes. All right. Calvin Hong says, Calvin McGregor boxing with the Alpha Phi ones though? He did? Wait, I've never seen that. D0 Aperture says, I can't imagine wearing Vaporflies with jeans. Seems so annoying to walk normal in. Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe if you bought me a pair that was like a full size bigger, then I could want to walk around. I feel like this looks better with these on. Or should we go back to the yellow? It's easier to see in the yellow. It's like remember the time I wore like a Santa costume, like a Santa beard, and you guys were like, guys, just take that off. JC says, if I wore those goggles, my entire face would be covered up. They're not that big. I don't know. David DeFrange says, it's Daft Funko. Hey, have you guys been seeing on Instagram? What is his name? He tried to run across the U.S. I mean, I guess he did run across the U.S. His name Dead Scout or something like that. There's this dude who's running all black, wearing a backpack and a motorcycle helmet with a black face shield. You can't even see inside it. So you don't see his face. But he's been running like 40 or 50 miles a day in Hoka Mach 5s, the black and white ones, which is a beautiful shoe. And the music is all like punk music, like emo, SoCal punk kind of music. I just been really enjoying the whole thing. And I'm enjoying it so much that I'm just like, there's something about it that it's going to trick me later, and I'm going to be like, oh, I can't believe I've been following this guy. But so far, I'm enjoying it. Anyone else been seeing that? I don't know. Going with Oliver says, LeBron James wears the Alpha Fly 1s casually to his kids' basketball games. LeBron James does wear a lot of running shoes, though. Remember, he used to wear the Epic React 2s for a lot of. He would wear that with the suit as he went into the stadium for basketball games. Terry says, Kofuzi's New Year resolution, be more weird. That one's checked off the list. Okay, so did you guys make any running resolutions? I'm not doing a lot of. I don't do a lot of like running goal kind of resolutions, but like one that, because I think it was my brother-in-law, my sister told me one of their resolutions, and it was like, I want to not do XYZ. And I was like, I like to make mine affirmative, right? Rather than not do something, I want to affirmatively do something. And so they're like, give me an example. And I was like, well, 3 years ago, my New Year's resolution was to eat more cheese. And I felt like I was very successful at that. And they're like, oh, okay. So I do things like that. I do have a resolution. One is to be more intentional with my time on my phone. A lot of times I'm looking at social media for research, because I do need to kind of know what's happening, but a lot of times I just get sucked in. So that's like the only thing that I'm trying to do less of. But to reframe that into more of my affirmative language, I want to be more structured. I'm going to structure my time more. So, and for me, the way I do that is by alarms. I don't have my phone down here with me. My phone alarm, there's like 13 or 14 alarms that I have that are routine almost every day. Like when I have to get ready for live stream, when I should post about live stream, when I got to get my daughter from the bus, when I got to get my other daughter, pick her up from cross country practice, like things like that. So I want to be more structured with my time. So do more time structuring, I guess, is my New Year's resolution. And being weird is just, that's going to happen, I guess. I'm not too worried about that. Mark Peterson says, I fell just shy of 2,000 miles for the third year in a row. So I guess that's my goal again. There you go. I like that one. Lala P says, the resolution is no days off with Smalls. Nice. I like that. Frank says, no resolutions for me. There you go. I like that too. Let's see. David McQuaid said, I'm checking it out right now. It looks perfect for Instagram. Yeah, I don't have my phone on me. I can show it to you guys, but I think it's Dead Scout, something like that. But he was trying to run across the US in a certain number of days. And then he only got to like Pennsylvania. His knee got all messed up. I've been following it every day. His knee got real messed up by his like deadline. So he said like mission failed, but he still ran the rest of the way anyway. He did like a group. There was like a group run in Central Park and stuff like that. I wish I could have gone. But yeah, it was super cool. And he's running, there's a charity behind it now. I don't know if there always was, but there's like a charity component now too. So it's pretty cool. I'm normally not super interested in people running across the US, but I am super interested in this random dude running with a motorcycle helmet on. And I really want to know, like, does he run the entire day? Maybe that's why he did it in the winter. Does he run the whole day in that motorcycle helmet? That's got to be the nastiest smelling motorcycle helmet. Yeah, Rye Village is like 40 to 50 miles in a motorcycle helmet. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking. And Jared Crane says, McGregor was lightly sparring, equivalent of a shakeout for boxing. I appreciate the definition there. And Alpha Flies before the fight. In that same fight, his leg snapped in half. Coincidence? I think not. That's terrible. But funny. Andrew Scott said, I haven't seen the Dead Scout thing, but I am currently following. I got to look that up. Let me look it up real quick just to make sure I'm talking about the right thing. By the way, today I am going to go to IKEA because more of these bookshelves are finally available. And I got to get more. Did I tell you guys that already? I'm not sure. Yeah. So, Dead Scout, DEADSKOUT. Let me just share my screen with you guys, so you guys can see it. Share screen, window, no. How come it won't, where's that other screen? I don't know. Oh, it won't let me, I have to do it in Safari. I did that in Safari, so let me get you another. Okay. All right, here we go. Now I can share it. All right, so here it is. This dude. So, ran from California to New York. He's going to try again next year in August, which I feel is going to be really hot to run with that helmet on. But it's been super fun to follow the whole journey. And then I was really disappointed, though, and maybe it's off-brand, and maybe he wouldn't have liked it. But like all these people met him in Central Park to go for a run, and no one else dressed up in a motorcycle helmet. Like I feel like there should have been a red Ranger, a blue Ranger, a Yellow Ranger, all that stuff. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. And it looks like, I'm not sure, but it looks like Hoka kind of got involved too, because it looked like he was only running in Mach 5s the entire time. So he kept getting more Mach 5s. I'm not sure exactly what the story is on that. I should talk to my friend Gordon. He might know. I bet you Gordon knows. Gordon's a PR guy. Works with Hoka. So, but Andrew Scott says, I'm not following Dead Scout, but I'm currently following the lady that's digging a tunnel under her house. I heard about that on the news today, and I'm like, what is this? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I just thought, I don't know. I don't, it's not a surprise that the aesthetic appeals to me as I am doing a live stream with ski goggles on. That's funny. All right. I think that's enough of that, probably. Yeah. Yeah. Sleep Singer says, any idea when the Mach 6s are coming out? Want to catch a sale on the Mach 5s? I'm frankly very surprised that the Mach 5s are not currently on sale. They should be, because that shoe's been out for a really long time, especially with the Mach X being out and stuff now too. This one's for Dead Scout. But I actually don't know when the Mach 6 is going to come out. I guarantee that they told me. I just don't remember. Oh, okay. Sean Devlin says Mach 6 is coming in March. There we go. It's not that far away if you guys think about it. I don't know. I am I'm actually feeling a little bit overwhelmed already. I haven't even really started working again for 2024, but I'm already overwhelmed because I'm just like, I should have been doing a lot more planning for the Olympic trials. I should have a lot more stuff lined up. I should have a lot more things scheduled and in place, and I just don't. And I'm feeling a little bit nervous about that. I don't know. David McQuaid said, have you heard a price for the Rebel 4? I have not. I actually need to send him an email and be like, can you remind me what are they never told me, but I'm going to say, can you remind me what are the embargo dates for the Rebel 4 and the SC Elite version 4? And I got to figure that stuff out. And Shana says, maybe you're feeling overwhelmed by the massive goggles on your face. Possibly. And CTF says, and you can have Houston. I do. Yeah. That'll be fun. That's already next week. Doesn't feel like it, but yeah, I don't know. And Mil Ure says, Mach 5s are on sale at Foot Locker right now. All right, so there we go. And Juan Loera says, any shakeout runs in Houston next week? Yeah, I have to figure out, my friend Farah told me a good spot that we could do it. And Farah has helped me plan a Houston shakeout run before. So she knows the area. So we'll do it there. There's not going to be any brand connected to it. There won't be bag drop or merch to give away or anything. I'm trying to keep it real simple since I'm actually running this race. So we'll just be super chill, hang out. We'll go for a little run, 30 minutes, and then we can hang out a little bit afterwards, and then that'll be it. I'll probably then go pick up my bib, grab some food, and then hunker down for the night. That's kind of what I'm thinking is the loose plan for that. So, yeah. Oh, Steve said, did your wife book the Orlando hotel yet? Anything with a mile is $600 to $800 even for an Embassy Suites. Crazy. Oh, yeah. I think she did. I have to double check. I didn't double check. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. That reminds me. I got to go do that stuff. I got to get my daughter. I got to get my daughter. I got to get her motivated to go to IKEA with me. I think if I tell her, I'll get her some ice cream. She'll be excited about that. So we could do that. All right, guys. I'll see you guys. I gotta take these off. Hold on. So those are the Goodr ski goggles. I'll see you guys on Monday. We'll do another live stream. We're going to be back. I guess it won't be full back into the swing of things because I'll be here till Thursday, and then I'll be traveling, I think, to Houston. So we'll have a kind of a full week next week. So that'll be fun. Hopefully I'll see you then. We'll have more unboxings. Got shoes coming in already. I know that I think I think they should be here by then. So we'll have some shoes. We'll have some fun. I feel like it's been a long time since we had a guest and since we played a game. So we're gonna get some of that all set up. Hopefully, maybe we can do that next week. Short notice, but we'll try. All right, guys. So over the weekend, hopefully you have some nice, safe long runs out there. Be safe out there, everybody. I'll see you guys next time.